Gigobyte is one of the few cards that has a story told through different card artworks, but his story is super random and makes no sense, and the parts that are part of a coherent story are a little cliche. But then again, the card game is based off of a show that was retargeted towards kids and gave up on plot halfway through 5Ds. So I'm going to take his various appearances and his card works and just make up a story. Gigobyte was a young, carefree lizard man who was a leader of a group of other misfits. One day, he was nearly eaten by a plant monster and gets saved by the Water Charmer. Together, the Water Charmer and Gigobyte fight side by side in the crazy post-apocalyptic Yu-Gi-Oh universe full of crazy-ass monsters, which is probably the aftermath of a nuclear war mutating everything, since there's also sophisticated robots walking around. One day, the Water Charmer decides to sacrifice herself to look at her opponent's hand and discard one card, leaving a fully grown Gigobyte by himself. By himself, he decides to call himself Gaga Gigo to sound cooler. On his way through his crazy world, he gets attacked by some warrior of light who thinks he's a monster. This warrior of light, named Freed, knows how to banish monsters to destroy other monsters with a higher attack than him. Freed rips open a dimensional portal and throws Gigo into another dimension. Upon landing in this new dimension, he's captured by the Archifiends and put up for tribute to their god for a good harvest. Luckily for him, he's saved by the marauding captain, and they both run off together and fight various monsters also stuck in this new dimension. Among their travels as BFFs, he schools the goblin attack force in ice skating, and double teams Inpachi, who has the same attack power as him. After traveling with the captain and his gang for a while, they get ambushed by the Invader of Darkness, who has an attack power over 1,000 more than Gigo, and forbids the use of quick play spells. Gigo, in an attempt to save one of the captain's men, jumps in front of him and takes a blast to the face and is presumed dead. Whatever happened after Gigo passed out is unknown, but Kozaki did steal his dead body to perform a cyborg experiment on him. After fixing him up, he launches him with one of his devices to rip a portal through the dimensions, allowing him to return to his homeland, his post-apocalyptic homeland full of monsters and crazy people with magic. He decides to search out Freed and get his revenge, since he is now 600 attack points stronger with his new armor, and is attacked by a snake on his way through the Venom Swamp. But he easily kills it as it only has 2,000 defense, and after some time finds Freed. Freed has been busy finding trap cards to help him fight evil, and pulls out all the stops in fighting Gigo, who was already stronger than him when they first fought. Freed is able to stop his first attack with his draining shield, and he gains life points equal to his attack, then uses a death counterblow to kill him. Gigo is able to recover from his death shortly after, but goes crazy and gains another 500 attack power. In his madness, he goes a little wild and is finally brought back to his senses by the captain. When he comes back to sanity, he finds a nearly defeated Freed standing in front of him, and he's holding the head of Inpachi in one hand and the lifeless body of the Invader of Darkness in the other. Then, because of the power of friendship or something like that, he stops being evil and calls himself Gaga Gigo the Risen, and with control of his new power, flies into space to fight other space monsters in the name of justice.